Hi everyone, welcome to the Nerdcore. Today I am interviewing the brothers at Frost Studio, who created the White Hill Syndicate short film and the Porch Pirates, which, by the way, I watched like two times just because I just loved the work on them. And there's a question in particular to one aspect, but the song on Porch Pirates, while it was doing the graphic scene,
Yeah,
I need to know if it's available anywhere online to hear because I want to add it on my playlist.
dude. So very good news. We are going to be putting that out on Spotify. We actually were
Awesome.
talking yesterday with the two dudes who are the composers
Hmm.
for the entire score, and then Justin Johnson, who composed that main theme there. And so they're going to be putting that out on Spotify. So the whole soundtrack will be out there as well as the
Awesome.
yeah.
I really enjoyed it. As soon as it started playing, I forgot that I was watching and I just started bumping to it because it's in my range of what I like to hear music wise. So
Nice.
it was wonderful to hear that.
That's great.
But
This
yeah.
there are people like actually like dancing in the crowd.
Mm.
It was
Oh,
awesome.
that's a wonderful note when you're doing a screener and people are doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Start.
But yeah. So I wanted to talk about both films real quick, and for continuity's sake, these questions will kind of be mixed. So if it intermingles and switches between both films, I apologize for that, but it kind of relates to both of them. But one of the questions that I kind of wanted to ask you guys is, for both films, I noticed a lot of at least from the films that I've seen, certain aspects of it reminded me of other films, and I was wondering if you guys got inspiration for those films from possibly the same films that I was thinking of. So, like for Porch Pirates, I kind of got a feel. Oh, I apologize for that.
All
I
good.
kind of got a feel of Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman that came out like in 2019, just
Mhm.
because of the whole gang exchange and the nice choice of clothing. And then for the White Hill Syndicate, it reminded me very much of like old school 70s, which I believe was what you were going for. So,
Yeah.
was there
Yeah.
any inspiration?
Yeah. I mean, I think that like it's hard not to kind of take things from other
Of
movies that you've
course.
seen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to pinpoint, one film in particular for each short film, but just kind of
Gotcha.
an amalgamation of all of the things that we love and enjoy. Yeah, I mean, definitely for White Hill, it was straight '70s movies that we were kind of watching as we went into production.
Okay.
So like, we wanted to feel like it could have been pulled off the shelf of a bunch of '70s movies with, Dog Day
I
Afternoon.
definitely got that. I was gonna say though that the White Hill Syndicate really reminded me of like I was watching a remastered version where they just try to fix all the old like older camera quality of it and they just put it on. So I was wondering if it was like some secret thing where you guys put it off the shelf and just put it back out there.
Yeah, we found it. We found it. Like, no one's heard of this. Let's just put it in a festival.
Yeah.
Not a weird inspiration, I guess, but
Hmm.
one inspiration that the visual style of White Hill. We were in here kind of at the end portion of editing, looking at the color and figuring out what we were gonna do and how we were gonna like really nail down the look. And we put on Rocky, like the first Rocky
Oh.
movie, and
Yeah.
we were like, dude, the audio is terrible.
It's so bad.
It sounds like
Yeah.
so crunchy and in a can, and we were like, we want to do that. Like, we wanted to feel like Rocky because I remember watching Rocky as a kid and being like, wow, so much texture here in this movie. It feels like it's
Yeah.
a certain moment in time. Yeah, when we were doing the sound mixing and editing, we really had to keep pushing our guys who were doing it to be like, make it sound worse. Like I know your job sound great all the time, but we really want this to sound terrible.
Mhm.
So just keep pushing it. And they
as
did
as a yeah as
great
a
job
person
making it
that's
sound.
studying. Yeah, ended up as a great thing because it did bring that aspect out of like it being an old school. There were times where it was like, was this purposeful or was it an accident? So with that, I'm glad to hear that it wasn't an accident.
Yeah, very
um
much. I
Yeah.
really I'm glad that those aspects stood out. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like I haven't seen a ton of Guy Ritchie movies, but Jordan, our producer,
Jordan loves
is like
me and Jordan actually saw The Gentleman together.
at any
Oh,
at any
cool.
opportunity that Jordan gets, he's like, so I'm kind of like getting some Guy Ritchie vibes here.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, so you're not the only one who's made that comparison.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I actually watched Snatch for the first time the other day, and I was just like, oh, this. I'd never seen Snatch before, but I watched it. I was like, oh, this kind of is like what our style is. Kind of
Right.
That's not bad at all. It works. It really does work.
Yeah.
I know Guy Ritchie does a lot of work with their costume or wardrobe design. Did you guys have any designer on set, or was it just you guys like kind of suggesting certain looks and then the actors bringing in?
I mean, that was mostly all Jeremy. Jeremy pretty much handled all the costuming. He would come up with stuff. He did a ton of mock-ups and designs, like taking a bunch of photoshops of all the actors and like finding clothes online and putting them into it. Especially for Porch Pirates, because they're so like lavish.
For White Hill, it kind of like we had started with a very specific vision for the costumes, and I think we got a very specific look with Teddy's character, the caddy, in White Hill. But with Porch Pirates, we made a mood board and then just pulled all of these images together. Kind of imagine you just like cutting out like coats in a magazine and then like putting that on your actor and being like, okay, does that work? And then we got really lucky at like finding very comparable outfits and materials that worked. So
yeah, a lot of the mock-ups did end up looking just like the characters look
it was
as they are on screen. It's crazy.
I was surprised.
That's crazy.
And, like, we would send them to the actors and they'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna look so cool. Like I've never looked this cool in my life.
I mean, it's incredible to hear that you went the full length of like using Adobe, putting the actors in the virtual costume or wardrobe. I mean, I personally haven't seen anyone go to that extent that I've interviewed so far.
Wow.
So it's good to hear.
Industry, so that's a good thing.
It's very competitive.
Now we're probably doing something wrong if nobody else is doing that.
They're working.
I mean, there's a lot of things where people feel like that, but it's when you study this industry and you go with a person that doesn't really, it just goes to the movies to see. You have to have that intel of like, no, they're doing something right by doing this. Right, if you particularly don't like it, but
we also just like to like try and like drop into the world ahead of time. Like it felt very important to us that like we drop into the world ahead of time and people have a context of like what that feeling is going to be like ahead of, because you know it's very, especially with Porch Pirates, it's a very specific style, like the short the short film went, and you know you don't want somebody to have the wrong idea of what the tone of the film is or what you're trying to accomplish. Like with Porch Pirates, we wanted to kind of, in this version of the short film version, really wanted to, you know, create a world that was like pirates and crime mixed and had that like fantasy element to it, almost medieval element to it, but in modern times.
Okay.
So that's a very specific kind of tone to achieve or hopefully achieve.
Yeah, I mean, you achieved it. At least for me, I love the set design, the wardrobe designs. The people, like they said, they were gonna look so good. They really did. The bodyguard with the stuff. I love this outfit. The I forgot his name, but the one that was basically the leader of the Porch Pirates and stuff. I love this little haircut with the spoof, or I guess would it be a mullet? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
baby mullet.
Yeah,
it's a baby mullet. Yeah. But going off of what I was feeling throughout the film, I was watching it and I kind of forgot it was a short film, which is good because I always want to see more of a film if it's kind of like they don't have the funds to go full feature length, but they still want to show as much as they can from their idea. Do these films go in as like a sneak peek to a possible bigger picture, or is it just something that you guys came up with for this festival, and then was it just a thing of like we're doing from scene A to B and that's it? There's no other picture or script outside of that.
If we had attorneys, maybe they would tell us that, you know, not to talk about it, but
of course, yeah. If you're able to talk about
it, so we don't give a damn. But no, the Porch Pirates is part of what we originally had thought would be a TV show, and we're gonna pursue it as a feature instead, just because that seems more up our alley, more in our wheelhouse. And then the White Hill Syndicate is based on a feature film that we had already wrote.
Oh, cool.
The two of us both were working at golf courses at the time here in Middle Tennessee, and you know we had come from Boston and relocated here, and we were like, wow, the Southern Golf Club really is a unique place for a story, and it's just a great opportunity for crime and chaos. So there's a whole feature that goes along with both of them.
Both of them. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm really hoping to be able to see it someday. But I mean, like you were saying, it's good to hear that you were working in the in a golf course, because I was gonna ask, does this conspiracy-esque plot and story come from a particular thing that you found out, or is it just some random stuff that you guys made up and just so happened to feel real? Because I'm all for conspiracy plots.
It's not real.
We gotta call the attorney.
Yeah, we gotta call. I gotta choose my words. Look,
okay.
It's a court case. I can't talk about it. No, but I worked at a private country club, and like it's a lot of very wealthy people, and I remember this one night they do this tournament every year, and like before the tournament begins, they have this event, and like they're all in the grill room, and like they're all like placing bets on what the outcome of the tournament is going to be. And like I walked in there because some guy forgot his phone, so I was like went in there, and it was like I was walking into like you know, that's this crazy like underground society where it's like there's everywhere, and guys are like smoking cigars, and like they're all dressed up. And I'm like, there could be something here where like, we could say like a country club, and the people that lead a country club could be actually have some sort of underground, you know, syndicate or crime syndicate. So that's, you know, there was a little sprinkles of it, but you know, we definitely like to take the truth and then stretch it to make it more fun.
It, of course. I mean, that sounds scary to just walk in and seeing all these wealthy people.
It was weird.
In my head, I'm just imagining them all in white gowns or like white clothing, sitting, chilling around the table.
Yeah, just like all white Southern males gathered in one room.
I mean, as a person of color, that would terrify me. So,
you're like, oh man, I have walked in through the wrong door. I need to get out of here.
Yeah, I need to get out of here. For Porch Pirates, I did mention this at the beginning of the graphics, but I kind of wanted to get an insight, if possible, on how long did it take and who was the person behind it, because it was very well made, and the graphics that I've seen and work with like don't compare to that at all. That felt like a full actual like big Warner Brothers or like big time company type graphic design.
That was a guy that we hired on Behance, which is like Adobe's kind of freelancing thing.
Gotcha.
Tomas Colombo. He's from Argentina, and
he is like incredibly, obviously, insanely talented. And you recognize
he did it himself. It was all him.
All him.
We never
Brilliant.
spoke on the phone. It was all just through like the messaging on there. We sent him like a document of what we wanted it to look like, and kind of broke down the scenes of it, and sent him the short film and the music, and just to like give him a better idea of what we were going after. And he fully understood it. And you know, a couple of revisions here and there, but I mean, overall, he would send us updates, and we would just be like, how is he doing this? How is he absolutely nailing exactly what we wanted to do?
So he delivered, is what you're saying for Porch.
100%.
Yeah, Tomas is a genius.
He's the man.
We were like, wow, okay, I guess we know who to call every time.
Right.
We
need
just like kind of
That's
so
really
easy
cool.
to work with too. Like he was just excited and just loved being a part of the process. So it was a lot of fun. And that was
That's
something we
great.
had never done either. Like,
Oh,
hire
you
someone
haven't
to do
dabbled in
that.
the.
Yeah, we had never
Yeah.
commissioned somebody for that kind of work
Yeah.
before, so
Oh, okay.
that was really cool.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's very much a. I feel that would be scary for you guys to.
It was definitely like the entire process was definitely intimidating, but the
Mhm.
feeling of like getting to have the music, the theme dropped on top of that CGI animation was just like,
you're like, all right, yeah,
wow. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
it like I said, I was bummed into it. I love the visuals. I went back to actually go through the entire thing properly without me just jamming out, but it was an incredible piece of the film. And like it was surprising to see that uh I, for me, would say I've seen people try to do it realistically, so I actually try to do a one shot of it. But seeing it in graphics, it was phenomenal. But I mean, speaking of these shots, I know you guys had cinematographers for these films as I was going through the information on the festival.
yeah.
But I wanted to ask, did you fully rely on their capability of doing what they do best, or did you have like say on what final shots were there, what framing fit best for your stuff like that?
Yeah. We shot listed both of them, so we had a very good idea of how we were going to break down the coverage throughout,
Okay.
and definitely leaned on both Diego and Cody throughout the day.
They both operated the camera.
Yes, they were
So
both like
okay.
that on.
That's a huge aspect of capturing it and what the final image, ends
Yeah.
up being. And Diego, I think, ran around all day with
the camera hanging off
the big
of him.
rig on him, and
Oh, really? Oh, that's heavy.
12
I've
hours,
experienced that. Oh,
12
yeah,
hours
absolutely.
handheld, and absolutely nailed it. I would say probably what we relied on them most for was like technical vision.
Yeah.
What kind of lighting, what kind of lights we needed to use to achieve, this overhead lighting that illuminates one section of the warehouse in Porch Pirates, and then with White Hill, like how do we get this to feel as bleak as possible? What lenses do we need to use? And they made all of those decisions without us. I said in a meeting one time that I'm technically illiterate, and it sounds like I can't read, but I'm technically illiterate. Like I just can't do
Yeah.
it. It's not for me. I'm not a gear guy. I don't like to get my hands on gear. I don't like to touch the camera too much. Like that's more Zach's alley.
Oh, okay.
But they were great helps in that respect.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like a lot of this process, it was another first for us to have a cinematographer, to have someone else who wasn't one of us or a friend of ours holding the camera and doing all that
trained professionals.
Yeah, like so it took a lot to be able to say, okay, we found these two guys, we want to put our trust into them and their knowledge of what they do. So it was obviously a great help to have them there, and we're very, very grateful to have had the experience of having two different cinematographers that we learned a lot from individually and together.
Yeah, shout out to Cody Duncombe and Diego Cacho.
Yes,
couldn't have done it.
The work was great. Yeah, the lighting, like you said, they gave you insight on that, and that just made every shot incredible for me. But I mean, yeah, that was basically all I kind of have. I did have one last one, and that's just basically, so since Nashville Film Festival is a buy-in type of event, so you have to pay to go or you have to have press to be able to access the films. I wanted to ask for the viewers that aren't necessarily going to this event or haven't, since it's ending today, that haven't gone. Where would they be able to find it, and what like time frame platforms would that be?
Yeah,
if you guys are.
I would say right now distribution is 100% up in the air on the White Hill Syndicate and Porch Pirates, the short film. But that being said, if you go to our website froststudios.co, or if you go to our Instagram page, our handle is frost.studios. Go there, we just put out a short film called Terry, or I guess it's not out. It was part of the 48-hour
Okay.
film project. That'll be coming
Got you.
out. That's a sci-fi comedy. That's what I can plug. And
Terry coming soon.
Terry is coming soon. It's an awesome
Sounds
sci-fi
great.
comedy about this guy, an alien life form who steals the power source of his planet's sun and takes it to Earth and becomes very wealthy off of that power source.
Yes.
So
yeah, and we're working on another short film this weekend, so we'll have stuff coming out.
Yep.
It's just as to when Porch Pirates and White Hill will be coming out, we're not sure, but follow us at Frost.studios to keep updated.
Definitely. I definitely will, because I do want to show other people, and I just want to follow your things on here, because as a person that isn't necessarily going through social media to find a lot of media in the film industry that's not already being publicly put in theaters, it's very grateful and very like humbling to see these studios and you guys just coming up and creating masterpieces to me. So it's like I'll definitely follow you guys, and hopefully the listeners out here will too. But
thank you so much for taking out the time to interview a couple of guys who love me.
Of course, man.
Nice to be in the company of somebody who loves me, loves movies, and we really appreciate you having us, man.
Yeah,
no, I appreciate you guys for coming on. You guys were the ones that hit us up, so I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely.
But this has been the 52nd Nashville Film Festival. You guys, if you are in the festival, you guys can check this out in the Tennessee Short narrative section. The White Hill Syndicate and Porch Pirates follow Frost Studios on all of their things. And so far, probably by the time they see this, it'll be over. So just follow these guys. Wait until they are able to put it to the public. And we'll just have a good time until then. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in and seeing this interview.
Later, guys.
See ya.